All right, guys, on your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when you have a negative attitude held by a person about a member of a particular social group. What is it called? When you have a negative attitude, it is all in your head. What is it? Peyton? Prejudice. On your whiteboard, what is it called when you use the word us to describe yourself? What is it called when you use the word us? Good. Hannah? In-group. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when you direct prejudice and discrimination at out-groups who have little social power or influence, and you blame them? And you blame them. Good. Noah? Scapegoat. What is it called when you use the word they? What is it called? Good. What is it? Chris? What is it called when you treat people differently because of prejudice towards that social group? It is an actual action. It is an action. Good. What is it? What is it? Sophia? Discrimination. All right. So on Friday, I did blue eyes versus brown eyes. It is kind of jarring of how quick people can turn, correct? A prejudice that no one, that doesn't exist, teaching little kids, and see how quickly people get swept up in it. Now today, I'm covering a ton of content because tomorrow I'm showing you a very, very, very famous experiment that's going to take most of the class. Is that fair? So today, I'm going to fill in a ton of your focus in your study guide, but it's going to be quick, and we're going to move quickly. Does that sound good to you? Because tomorrow I have a video clip that we're going to want to have a conversation about and talk about. All right, so on Friday we got to social identity and social comparison. We didn't get to social comparison. All right, so when we talk about social identity theory, it's a theory in which the formation of a person's identity within a particular social group is explained by social categorization, social identity, and stuff like that. We all categorize ourselves. When you think about who you are as a person, I was a jock. I was on I was a 3-sport varsity athlete at a very competitive school, and I was also on the top of my class. So I was a dork who could run really fast. Those were my social groups. Okay. So when we think about these types of things, we have to identify our own social identity. So it's a part of the self-concept, including one's view of a person of a particular category. Are you really included in your friends? Or are your friends just kind of nice to you? Are you the central person of your social group, or are you on the exterior of your social group? Do you make the decisions for everyone else? Are you at the center of it, or are you kind of one of the people that get pulled along? That's part of social identity. Social comparison is the comparison of oneself to others in ways that raises one's self-esteem. We don't want to be at the bottom of any category. Can we agree? We don't want to be the ugliest. We don't want to be the dumbest. We don't want to be the most gullible. We don't want to be the least liked. No one wants to be at the bottom of a category. So what we do is we compare ourselves to other people to make ourselves feel better. As long as I'm not Valeria, I'm okay. Because she's so awful. Like, oh my God, she's terrible. So like, at least I have that going for me. I'm just kidding, Valeria. I'm just kidding. Okay? But those are the types of things we do. Have you noticed that you've said mean things about people for really no reason except to make yourself feel better? Hello? Or you laughed a little too hard at a joke someone else made just to make yourself feel a little bit better? Hello? Absolutely. Especially your brother and your sister. True, not true? They're always there to be like stepped on to make yourself feel better, correct? When you're annoyed or upset about something, don't you lash out at your brother and sister? Because it's easy and it makes you feel a little bit better. Like, haha, got you. You know what I mean? And that's social comparison. All right. So, how can we stop prejudice? Stereotype vulnerability is the effect that people's awareness of stereotypes associated with their social group has on their behavior. It is important to understand what are the stereotypes that are held against you, your race, your ethnicity, your gender, your culture. All right, the fact that you live in South Tampa, okay, everyone assumes you're super wealthy. Does that get annoying?
Yes.
Yeah. Because most people aren't that wealthy here at Plant. There's a good amount. But it's not 90% of the population. Would we agree? Because if you talk to someone who doesn't go to plant, they assume it's like 95% of the population is like super wealthy. Is that really the case? No. Okay, so the idea that all of you are egotistical and spoiled little rich kids, that must get so annoying. True or not true? Hello? No, we don't have feelings? Good. Okay, I guess I'll talk to myself then. When you address those stereotypes head on, obviously I'm a blonde, white, blue-eyed girl. Everyone always thought I was a moron. So I don't know about Skylar, Smith, you're the only blonde ones. Have you always been super aware of that? Because it always made me like super uncomfortable. I don't like being like clearly wrong in front of people. Because I always, especially when I was like in high school, middle school and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you're such a blonde. I'm the smartest one in the damn class. And I make one mistake like a human and then I get like completely crapped on for it. Like, oh, it used to drive me insane. So stereotype vulnerability is addressing and knowing those stereotypes and seeing how that affects you. My dad loves blonde jokes though. And when he hears a good one, he writes them down. And he literally writes them down. So the next time I speak to him, he'll tell me. Even though I've talked to him so many times, I can't even begin to make up a number about how many times I've told my dad how it's not good. It's disrespectful. And he's like, but Sam, it's not about you. It's about other blondes. Sam, you're really smart. This is about the other blondes. Like, you've got to be kidding me, Dad. That's not how this works. So because of that, I've always been super paranoid about the things I've said, how I behave, because I don't want to be considered the ditzy blonde. Okay? So that would be stereotype vulnerability. And a lot of people have it for other things as well. So self-fulfilling prophecy is the tendency of one's expectations to affect one's behavior in such a way to make the expectation more likely to occur. Okay? So if I believed all purple people were aggressive and rude, and every time I saw a purple person, I literally flinch and hold my purse closer to me. Do you think that would upset some purple people?
Yeah.
Do you think that would trigger them to lash out a little bit? Yeah. Absolutely. If, for instance, I think all high schoolers are terrible tippers. And you're dirty, you destroy my table, you're super annoying, you stay way too long, and you're just rude. Okay? So with that being said, when I see you sit at my table, am I going to be warm and welcoming, or am I going to be like, hello, welcome to Outback, my name's Sam, I'll be taking care of you today, what can I get started for you for a drink? And you tell me water, 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 oh, extra lemons, great. So I walk away from the table, I go and I get your water and your lemons. Can you tell I'm already not pleased? Hello? When you have a server who you know doesn't like you before you even open your mouth, can you tell? Yes, everyone can. So, if I don't treat you with warmth and kindness, are you going to treat me with warmth and kindness? Are you going to tip me well? No. So guess what is going to happen the moment you leave? When I see your tip, I'm going to be like, these stupid high schoolers, look what they did. They didn't even tip me. Oh, I hate high schoolers. Did I just reinforce what I thought already? Because of my behavior? That's stereotype reinforcement. If you have if you've already made how this interaction is going to go in your head, when it actually comes, are you going to be open or are you going to be judgmental? Judgmental, yes. Oh my God, I'm really enjoying today. Thank you so much. So much enjoyment. Ugh. All right, so another way you could do is equal status contact, and this is one of my favorite ways to do it. So equal status contact is when contact between groups in which the groups have equal status with neither group having power over another. So say, for instance, you are a lawyer and you are racist against Indian people. Sure. So if you are a corporate lawyer, I would arrange a meeting for you to meet with an Indian corporate lawyer. The two of you would sit down and have a conversation. That way, you both are at equal status. It's not like if I am racist against Chinese people, and the only Chinese people I come in contact are poor, uneducated Chinese people, is that going to improve my thoughts about them or continue to keep them my prejudice high or low? Okay, absolutely. It's going to be a high prejudice. I'm going to think, oh my God. But if I come across a Chinese person who has the same education as I do, same work experience I do, comes from a similar family to mine, are we going to have a lot in common? Are we going to be able to have a genuine conversation about things that affect us? Absolutely. I'll be able to understand where they're coming from a lot more. It'll give me an interesting perspective. So equal status contact is the best way to overcome prejudice. So if you have you guys ever seen Morgan Spurlock? He does the 30-day challenge. He used to be on FX. It's on Netflix now. He used to do 30 days where he would put a person who's terrified of Muslims into a Muslim household for 30 days to see how they live and interact, and then they'd have to wear it's like wife swap. Do you know what wife swap is? So stupid, by the way. But actual genuine real issues that people are facing, they'd have to dress and see and hear the terrible things that are being slammed at them, get to know them as a culture, get to know them as individuals and stuff like that. That is going to be equal status contact. Hello? Okay. All right, so one of the ways teachers try forcing this is by jigsaw classrooms. AP Art History, is it just you, Skylar? Did you take it last year or this year?
Last year.
Okay. Anyone else take AP Art History? Oh, okay. Ren does this a little bit, where one of you has to teach the art piece, and then you have to teach it and you're responsible for it because Ren's not going to cover it, right? And then the next person is in charge of something totally different. You have to depend on each other. Did you like it or no? Bella, no?
Oh, I don't like talking in front of people, so I don't like it.
But did you get a lot out of it?
Yeah.
You liked it? Skylar, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
All right. So it's so interesting. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I don't like it because I think people are innately lazy if they can be. So, but anyway, what a jigsaw puzzle is, everyone has one thing of information that they have to do. And one of those things is that they use that information in order to help each other realize that they depend on each other. So if you have something I need, we have to have some sort of relationship and we can kind of work together. When it works, when it's done really, really well, there's some schools that only do jigsaw classrooms. That's all they do. I've seen it on teaching documentaries. I know. Could you imagine anything more exciting than a teaching documentary? Please, calm down. I know. Things are wild. But there are a lot of them. And there's a couple schools in Washington, D.C. that just do jigsaw classrooms. And it's pretty impressive, but I haven't seen one in person that I really like. And it's obviously not how I teach. All right. We're done with prejudice. To the boards, people. You are literally making me want to punch myself in the face. You are awful. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called? It views prejudice as an attitude acquired through direct instruction. So, if you hate Spanish people because your dad or your mom hates Spanish people, what is that called? Good. What is it, Matt?
Social cognition.
Social cognition. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when you have conflict between in-groups and out-groups? And that is going to create more prejudice and more discrimination. So every time we have another incident between police, whether it was racially motivated or not, that causes a ton more tension. And that is called what, Mary Kate? There we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called? It's a theory in which the foundation of a person's identity deals with a specific social group. Good. Bella, what is it?
Social identity.
There we go. All right. So, moving on to the next section is attraction. Now, interpersonal attraction is liking or having a desire for a relationship with another person. Is this groundbreaking information? that you want to have relationships with other people, this is crazy. This is just so out of the box. I know, you're really going to have to get creative about this, understanding that people want to have a desire for a relationship with another person. So when we talk about it, okay, what makes you attractive and what makes the people you like attractive? By the way, you can't fall in love with someone you've never met. Now, internet dating is weird. So I'm not talking about internet dating. Because we all know, unless you meet in person, it's never going to happen. Can we agree? Hello? You're all going to be catfished. Okay? Things are going to go terribly wrong. Okay? You're going to fly to London and no one's going to be there waiting for you. And then it'll be an awkward flight back. I mean...
You have to go to London.
That's true. That's true. It'd be terrible if you met like in Baltimore. Actually, I've been to Baltimore. It's a pretty cool city. Anyway, moving on. You like people who are near you. It's kind of cool when you think about it. The great love of your life, you're just going to meet them at some point in your life. And it's going to be like an actual like, oh my God, we hit each other like in the grocery store. Like you bumped into each other. Or it's going to be a friend of a friend. But no matter what, there's proximity. There has to be a physical or geographical nearness. Your soulmate is not in the Sudan. If you go to the Sudan, you may meet someone in the Sudan, and they may be the love of your life. But if you don't fall in love in the next couple of years, it's not because your soulmate is on the other side of the world and can't get to you. You're going to fall in love with someone who's near you. Isn't that crazy? Think about it. That your soulmate, the person you're supposed to love, is someone that you're going to come in contact with. Because I'm kind of old. And some of my friends aren't married, or, they've dated like 1,000 people, but no one really for a long time. And they're like, well, what happens if my soulmate's in China? And they're not coming to the United States, and I ain't going to China. What am I going to do? And that's not your soulmate. The person you're supposed to love is someone you're going to bump into. Isn't that exciting? No? Because you can't love someone if you don't know them. So it's like, think about it. So don't blame it on your soulmate being in like Taiwan or something. And they're not coming to visit. Alright, so when we talk about attraction, people like people who are similar to themselves. What that means is, okay, you're going to have someone who has the same morals as you do, who is typically the same race. Most people prefer the same race. One of my girlfriends, Becca, one of McCrae's good friends had the biggest crush on my friend Becca. And he was white, she's Hispanic, and Becca thought he was really cute and stuff like that. She was like toying with the idea of like kind of like going out and seeing if it would work. And then one day she's like, no, it's never going to happen. And I was like, why? He's like such a nice guy and he really likes you. And she's like, I can't deal with a non-Hispanic. And I was like, what? She's like, I just can't explain what happens in a Hispanic family every time it happens. I just need someone that knows. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I just can't explain that sometimes I just get mad and just go with it. But if you're raised in a Hispanic family, you just know that. I'm like, how is that a thing? And she's like, every time we have like family traditions, how am I supposed to just explain every single component? They're just supposed to know. And I was like, what? And she's like, I just can't. I can't date a white kid. I have to date a Hispanic. So immediately crossed off the white kid. Even though they would have been really great together. But she's dating a kid now, and he's really nice. So good for her. Also Hispanic, by the way, because she just doesn't want to explain it. Sure. So some people like people who are similar to themselves. Some people like people who are totally different. Now, most people fit into the people who are similar to themselves, have similar backgrounds. So you know where each other is coming from. Not that you're completely similar, but you have at least similar backgrounds, similar ideas, similar goals. Other people like complete opposites. These are people who date outside their race, their culture, their ethnicity, and stuff like that. They just like the total opposite of it all. They like kind of finding this whole idea of, totally unknown and kind of jumping off from that point. So for yourself, you're going to have to figure that out. Do you like people who are similar to you? That kind of remind you of your own family? Okay? Or do you like people who are just totally opposite? What do you think? Raise your hand if you think similar.
I think it would be both.
No, you can't be both. You have to kind of pick one.
Well, when you said your family, I mean to me. So if it's similar, but to me, not my family. I'm different from my family.
Well, okay, but similar as in they have the same moral background as you do, same things like that. Similar to you. Typically, you get that from your family, so I understand that. Who's opposite? Yeah, hell yeah. I like that. It's out of the box. I'm not brave enough, so no. And I don't know. My family is just too damn intense. So, all right, there you go. So, reciprocity of liking. We like people who like us. Have you ever had a friend come up to you and be like, oh my God, you will not guess who has the biggest crush on you? And you're like, oh my God, who was it? Oh, you tell me. And they're like, they tell you the name. And it's someone you have never thought about in your entire life. And then you're like, oh my God, he likes me? Oh my God, I would totally date him. Like, oh my God, he's kind of cute. Oh my God, I think I like him. Have you ever had that? Have you ever heard that someone liked you, and then all of a sudden now you're thinking about him in that way, and you're like, damn, oh hell yeah. No?
Yes.
Yes! Good. Okay, that is reciprocity of liking. We like people who like us. If we don't have to fight for someone to fall in love with us, that whole idea is really cute. How annoying is it though? It is so annoying. We like people who like us. So, if you have a crush on someone, tell them, because your chances are going to go way up. Tell them, because we like people who like us. Love. I hate today. All of you are awful. I love talking to myself, by the way. Love is a strong affection for another person. Due to kinship, personal ties, sexual attraction, admiration, or common interest. You're going to love many people for different reasons. Many people come in and out of your lives for different reasons. Some will be romantic love, some will be friendship, and all those different types of things. Peyton?
So you guys, there's like 3 different things for love, but not just love for.
This is just love.
Okay.
Let me get there. Okay? So, your first one is Sternberg. Now, Sternberg has a theory of 3 different parts of love. That love comes in 3 difference, and they're made up of intimacy, passion, and commitment. Okay, so this is the best way to describe it. This is on your focus, too, by the way. Alright, so this is Sternberg's triangular love theory. Listen first. I'll tell you exactly what you need to write down. Okay, so he has 4 major concepts of love. First one is companionate love. Companionate love is intimacy versus commitment. Now, intimacy is not sex. Intimacy is being who you are and not being ashamed of it. For instance, intimacy in my relationship with McCray is that he sings all the damn time. He sings nonstop. We have a washing the face song. He has a walking the dog song. He has a dinner time song, and he calls them all Marshall jams. Okay? That is intimacy. If I recorded him secretly and played it to his friends would never believe that was McCray, because that's not who McCray is. He's not a tough guy, but like, he's never goofy. And when he's with me, and it's just the 2 of us, he's a complete moron. Because all he does is sing this stupid song. So that's what intimacy is. That's not sex. That is being who you are and saying stupid stuff and knowing that you're not going to be judged. Does that make sense? Commitment is the long term. That at the end of the day, they're your ride or die. Okay? They're going to stay with you as long as you possibly can. Okay? Fatuous love is passion. Passion's the sex part. Is the sexual attraction and all that. And commitment is obviously that long term. Romantic love is the intimacy, which you can be who you are, and that passion, where it's, the sexual attraction and being able to be who you are. Those are your 3 major components. That every single relationship can be broken up into these 3. Now, very, very few people have the consummate love, which is intimacy, the sexual attraction, and the long-term commitment. Does that make sense? Now, my parents are companionate love. They adore each other. It's disgusting. But I think I've only seen my parents actually kiss 10 times in my entire life. But they are ride or die. They adore each other. When they talk about, because they've been together almost 40 years. Here next year will be their 40th wedding anniversary. And like when they just talk about how all the things they've done together, they just get so emotional. It's disgusting. But they're not like lovey-dovey. They like spent 4 hours at Home Depot the other day. I got the rundown of what happened at Home Depot. I have more questions than answers of what the hell they were doing for 4 hours. They bought like 4 things, people. What the hell do you do in Home Depot that long? My parents were just happy, giggling, wandering around Home Depot. Like, what the hell? They're just best friends. And that's what companionate love is when you marry your best friend and, like, you're just buddies and you just pal around. Romantic love is that you married your love of your life. Like, oh my God, I just love you, blah, and you just make out all the time. Okay, now intimacy versus passion. Remember, there's no commitment there. So could this last forever? No, it's just going to be really hot and passionate and then probably fizzle right out. Can we agree? Okay? And then your fatuous love is you've got the passion and the commitment. Okay? These are the people who break up all the damn time. But get back together because they're in love with each other. But then break up because they hate each other. And then they get back together because they can't live without each other. Yes? Hello? The people you really hate, that's them. Because they're so annoying. Because they're like obsessed with each other and then they rage. And then they're obsessed with each other again. Okay? Then you have infatuation only, which is passion only. Like, oh my God. It's so beautiful. Then you have empty love. I have a couple kids. Actually, one of my sister's best friend's parents just got a divorce after 22 years of being married. All their kids left the house. And once their kids leave the house, a lot of parents really spend most of their time. How many of your parents really go on date night and hang out and spend quality time together? Just the two of them. A lot or a little? Looks like only Madison's.
Well, my dad and his girlfriend, but same
Okay. It works. Okay? So when you think about it, once you leave, what do they have in common anymore? Do they have something in common? Think about how sad that is. One of my best friends, who teaches at Wharton, she's literally waiting for her youngest son to turn 18 so she can get a divorce from her husband. She doesn't want to be a single parent because like their schedules are so different and it's just so time consuming. But she doesn't want like her husband. But she doesn't want to do it alone. So she's in an empty love. They have the commitment of they're both raising these kids and he's a good dad, but she just doesn't love him. And she hasn't loved him in she openly told me she doesn't love him for like 6-7 years. He's 13, the youngest. That's empty love. Liking intimacy only, okay? That you just like hanging out. Like, hell yeah. Bestie status, but you just hang out. And infatuation is, this person's a moron, but they're really pretty. There you go. That's your thing. So on your study guide, where is it? Number 9? Okay, I'll give you a minute to fill it in. How does that work? Yes? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, this is the ideal. Very, very, very few people get to the ideal. But you're going to have the ideal, of course, where you have love, intimacy, passion, and commitment. Miss Bennett, all of my students always have that in their life. I don't know. Some people say, like, oh my God, if I can't have that, I don't want any of the other stuff. My parents are best friends, and they are, like, so damn cute together, and they just giggle and laugh all the time. So it used to be like, oh my God, if I can't have consummate love, I don't want love at all either, because, you know, it was dramatic. I don't know. My parents are besties. They're so cute. Every Wednesday, they go get ice cream. Maybe that's the key to 4 years of marriage. I have no idea. Go get ice cream every Wednesday. Sounds pretty ideal. Guaranteed ice cream every week. That's what I'm talking about. Why don't you fill this in? You already have it on your focus? Are you ready?
No.
Well, hello, Miss Smith. So when you think of your parents, and you don't have to say it out loud, what do you think they are? Are they companionate? Are they just buddies? None?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Yeah.
Alright. Are your parents dating?
No, they've been separated for like.
No, I'm not saying your parents dating. I'm saying, are your parents dating others?
Not now.
Not now?
Not my dad, at least.
Interesting.
Not my dad's.
See, that's something I just cannot relate to. Like I said, my parents have been married for 40 years. The whole idea of like divorced parents, in my head, sounds great. Because that's like 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays. I'm on this little childhood little thing. And then obviously I grew up with a lot of people who had divorced parents. And obviously it's not that easy. But growing up with 2 parents who are married is also not ideal at times either. Because when they fight, they really fight. And it's scary. Like my mom went for 4 weeks without speaking to my dad. And I literally thought they were going to get a divorce. It was crazy. And my dad, after week 2, he was just over it and just thought it was the funniest thing. So he just made it worse. So it's interesting. All houses are different. All dynamics. There's good and bad to every situation. You know, think about my friend who has empty love. Do you think she should divorce her husband?
Yeah.
Or is it better that she stays for the kids?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
I think your kids should like
They'll
know
understand.
that like they'll understand like I mean he's 13 she said so I mean
That's
they'll understand like if you don't really love him anymore. I feel like they should understand that.
Like, do they really want their mom not happy?
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
You know,
My
5
parents
more
got
years
divorced
till
when I
he's
was
18.
But I mean, raising kids is really hard. I mean, I just have a puppy and I'm overwhelmed.
That's not really fair to the kid though.
Yeah, and they have
It
to
is
watch
not
their
fair for the
miserable
parents.
parents.
I'd be sad if I knew my mom was sad all the time just for the sake of me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
And that she's
I
only
still
staying
have
with
them.
my
There's
dad.
no-
Oh, that's so nice. But do you think you were self-aware at 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents are a lot
Kids
nicer.
know.
See, that's just where I'm coming from. I don't really have. I mean, my parents fought like hell at times, but I mean, they are buddies. And it's funny that once you move out of your parents' house, it's a huge dynamic change for your parents. What are they going to talk about? If they have a strong connection, like if your parents are together and you're kind of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's going to happen? Force your parents to go out on a date with each other. Because if you don't, a lot of the biggest time for a divorce is within the first 4 years of marriage or with the year of 20. Year 20 is a big year for divorce because at that point, kids are out of the house and kids are starting to leave. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, what are my parents? Do they have anything in common? Force them to go on dates. You're old enough. Would you rather your parents be together or not? If you want them to be together, force them to hang out with each other without you. You know, force them because it's important they have a relationship too. Think about it. I mean, would you want to be in a marriage that was all about your kids and you didn't have an actual connection with your partner in that? No. So be a grown up and force your parents to go on a date, damn it.
That kid should tell his mom to leave.
Yes, but he's a 13-year-old boy. I don't know how much he would know.
I was in the 9th grade.
The hell is 13? Is that 8th grade?
Yeah, 8th and then 9th.
I was 8
Old.
and my sister was 5.
And you knew?
Well, that my parents told me like day after Christmas we're getting divorced. So
Why the day after Christmas?
Like Christmas.
Christmas. I don't.
A Christmas pie.
Interesting. It's just not something I've been exposed to. McCray also doesn't remember his parents' divorce because he was like 6 months old when they got a divorce. So he has never known his mother married until he was 15. So anyway, all right. Aggression is behavior intended to hurt or destroy another person. First of all, can we stop and appreciate that definition? Intended to hurt or destroy. When I hear that, I think of like a missile that hits you and then your whole body just explodes into like goop. No? It's destroy! Do you now have that visual now of just like complete explosion? I hope so. Anyway, so what aggression is intended behavior to hurt or destroy. Despite the fact that my head goes straight to a missile, causing your entire body to explode to every molecule, what they mean by destroy is socially. That you will literally ruin a person's life socially in order to get your revenge back. Now, men are much more physical in their aggression. Women are a lot more social in their aggression, correct? I think it would be easier if we both sexes just beat the crap out of each other. You know, women beat up women, men beat up men, and we can all just move on. Because typically when guys fight, it's kind of, once they go to blows, it's kind of done. Women, it never ends. True, not true? You're just waiting for the next passive-aggressive comment. And then you just lose your damn mind all over again.
Why did you girl fight in school?
Like fist fights?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Where they slap each other and then there's leaves on the ground.
Hey. Maybe we all could do better that way.
If the other kid head hit the column, the cement block,
Oh,
they had to call an ambulance.
yeah. I
They
remember
had
that.
stitches in his jaw.
No. It's because he got punched right in the face. And over again, right in his teeth. That's why.
Someone told me
Wasn't that like
No, I was part of that, actually.
Classic.
It was awesome. I turned the corner and I saw it. And I was like,
And
then I got it
right over there.
yeah, I was right in front of my
It's
door.
like the end of
It
one.
It was one of the peak moments
Watching.
of my life.
It
Get him!
was at the end of lunch last year, right?
Yeah.
At one point, because I remember walking in here.
Yeah, it was just wild.
And they were
It's
like,
crazy.
you can't come over here, and you can see the janitor spray.
Yeah, it
spray.
was insane. Anyway, we're moving forward because we are recording this, by the way. Alright, so aggression. There's biological influences on it, include genetics. If your parents are really aggressive people, guess what? You're probably going to be pretty aggressive too. If you have a tumor growing on your amygdala, some guy murdered 6 people. For his whole life, he was this quiet, meek person, and then went on a wild rampage and just killed 6 people and just completely And anyway, he was claiming, everyone was like, I can't believe this guy just savagely killed all these people. And they're like, let's see what's wrong with him. So they did an MRI, and he had a huge tumor on his amygdala. And that was what was causing his rage. They cut it out, and the man was back to his meek self. And so he eventually got acquitted of the murders, because technically it wasn't his fault. It was a medical issue. So he lives on house arrest for the last, until he dies. So he's not living in prison. It is odd. So when you start getting that undeniable rage, go to the doctors. Testosterone. We've all heard of roid rage, have we not? Okay, when people start playing with their testosterone in order to build bigger muscles, they just completely rage. Have you guys ever seen True Life? I'm on testosterone. It's on MTV. They're bringing it back. I see it every once in a while. And this guy just loses his mind every single day at the gym. He just beats the crap out of his car. He just starts beating up his car because he's so mad and can't punch people. So he beats the crap out of his car and costs $10,000 worth of damage. Kicks, bent, just beats the crap out of his car with his fist. Roid rage. True Life. You gotta check it out. It's one of the testosterone. They have 4 or 5 of them. Anyway, it was awesome. $10,000 worth of damage. Obviously, he clicked out the taillights. I don't think anyone's that surprised by that. But then he literally punches in the walls of the car. You know how you get dents? He literally just punches it in, shatters all the windows with his fist. It's insane. It's pretty cool. Alright, so what has an effect on aggression is your social role. It's the pattern of behavior that is expected of a person who's in a particular social position. So depending on what your position is in society will dictate how much anger you typically will have. If you're from a very poor neighborhood, that's tough to feed yourself, take care of basic necessities, are you going to have more aggression or less aggression? More, absolutely. If you're coming from, if you are in a field like stocks, if you are one of those day traders on Wall Street, are you going to be aggressive or not aggressive? You're going to be aggressive. If you're a stockbroker online and that's what you do and you trade millions a day, you're going to be aggressive or not aggressive? You're going to be aggressive, absolutely. So certain components of your personality are going to be a part of. If you teach AP psychology at Plant High School, are you going to be aggressive or non-aggressive?
No.
Yes! Yeah, you can't hide who you are. Anyways. So, by watching more violent TV, movies, and videos, they say it increases your rate of aggression. I don't think that's true. I'm a very aggressive person. A lot of rage. I hate horror movies. I like war movies that have a point. I just don't like, just savage killing. Like, that's not for me. But, yeah, so I don't watch any of that stuff. It scares me. I get nightmares. All right, tomorrow I'm doing the Zimbardo experiment. So that's tomorrow, and that's going to take up most of the day. So I'm going to keep going. Tomorrow, that's what I'm doing. So altruism is a pro-social behavior, that socially desirable behavior that benefits others. This is when you do the right thing. Altruism is a pro-social behavior that is done with no expectation of reward and may involve the risk or harm to oneself. Now, when you do your volunteering hours and you literally stop at whatever the cap is, are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for Are you doing it for the betterment of others, or are you doing it for yourself?
So,
Smith's like, of course I'm doing it for myself. Why would I want to volunteer and help people? Okay? That's for self. If you actively go out of your way to help others, that is altruism. Okay? So I am not... See ya. What? Look at you. By the way, I filled in a lot for you today. You're welcome.